Hey there, I'm Lori Soleil, and I'm happy you're here because I want to talk to you about wealth consciousness. It's such a big conversation for a lot of people, manifesting and making more money and creating more money, and we see it out there, right? We see the social media and we see the reality shows. So for a lot of us, we can get envious for those that have a lot, seems to have a lot. The scarcity consciousness piece is really big. I have a lot of clients that work with me around this. And so I wanted to share this with you today. So let me go to my slides. I wanted to share this with you because there are some simple techniques actually through metaphysics, through quantum mechanics and quantum physics. There are real scientific reasons why these particular techniques work. Now, manifesting is in and of itself as a buzzword, but I wanted to just show you and talk to you a little bit about the actual techniques that you can use. So let's start here with wealth consciousness. Plus, I wanted to make it fun with the animals. I'm a huge dog and cat lover, used to have a pet care business. So you're going to see them sprinkled throughout the presentation just to add a little bit of levity, which, my friend, is really important. When you can add humor to something that you feel is keeping you stuck or you might be worrying about it, when you add humor, it breaks the negative trance. So that's one of the things that I wanted to share that's really important. Just one of those hot tips. Bring in funny, bring in humor, laugh about stuff, because it really does help to break it up in your mind, break it up in your body too. So what are we going to talk about today? Wealth consciousness. Money as an illusion. Well, it's not an illusion. We can hold it in our hand, but we'll talk about that. Quantum reality and superposition. What does that mean? We're going to talk about imagination. That is your superpower, and thinking and speaking into reality, why that's super important for you to pay attention to. And then finally, I'm going to give you some money mantras to take with you. So let's get started. But first before we get started, a little bit about me. My name is Lori Soleil. This is Temple Loam Teachings. Temple Loam is the spiritual side of my coaching practice. I do retreats and tours in Mount Shasta. I have clients that come up to do personal intensives. So that's what this is about. I'm an award-winning coach through I do hypnotherapy, NLP, quantum consciousness facilitation, psyche. All the tools are really leading edge tools to get you where you want to go. Because that's the beautiful thing now, is that we're really discovering how powerful we are, what a co-creator we are of our reality. So that's what we're going to talk about. So what is money? Well, the history of money dates way back. It's thousands and thousands of years old. It really began with the bartering system, as people had different things to be able to barter with. And then coins were first created in modern day Turkey back about 600 BCE. Then the dollar and the note and the promissory notes that were started to be issued by the government and by banks happened in China in the 7th century. So money dates way back, but money, more importantly, is an energy, isn't it, my friend? It's a currency. And quantum physics speaks to the fact that what we believe will happen, right? What we focus on, we get more of. That is so true. And that really stems from the observer effect. That's also a quantum physics sort of discovery. More on that later. But I just wanted to start with where was the origin of money, and why it's important to know that, because again, it really equates to value. But here is another really important thing to think about. What did your family have as it relates to beliefs? What did they believe around money? What did you grow up in? And you probably have already thought this through. If you're watching this video, you've probably been resourcing and reading books and all that. It impacts us, because when you are young, under 10, you are in a programmable state when you're young. And so the things that you're influenced by, your family, your community, your religious upbringing, all of that impacts you, goes deep into the subconscious mind to form these beliefs that you have around money, around abundance, around wealth, around prosperity. So the first thing to do is to really start to assess that, so that you have a decent picture around it. And the other thing too is that when we are looking to get out from underneath those old beliefs. It's difficult sometimes. It can be difficult, but it's not going to be difficult when I show you how to remove these things. Because if our family is still stuck in that, but we want to sort of break out, there's a whole other psychological piece to it. So just wanted to point that out. So where did your family land as it relates to money and the belief around money? So scarcity consciousness is a big one. This is what a lot of my clients come to me to talk about. These are the behaviors and the beliefs that they can be stuck in. And it's a great way to sort of assess, am I in that scarcity consciousness? So let's look at that. So hoarding resources is one. Constantly worrying about finances. Oh my God, I can so relate to that. There was a time when I just had the pit in my stomach. I didn't want to check my bank account. I didn't want to go on the app. I didn't want to look what was in there. I just avoided. Avoidance is huge. Difficulty making decisions, comparisons, and envy. This happens with social media and some of these, reality TV shows. Fear of taking risk, because money equals freedom. And so when we when we feel like we don't have enough of it, then we feel like we can't take risks, we can't explore, we have difficulty making decisions around it. There's negative self-talk around it. There's maybe a lack of generosity, like I don't have enough to give, therefore, I'm going to close my fist. But when your fists are closed to giving, then they're not open to receiving, are they? Focusing on immediate needs, maybe difficulty manifesting money. That's why we're here talking about this. And I love the little kitty because it's like, this is the magician's hat, right? And the money goes in and it disappears. I like that little image for that. All right, let's talk about the quantum stuff, because that's what's the super exciting thing. And I love this cat. It's kind of buzzing down on this quantum reality. So what I want to talk to you about first, two things. One, I just spoke to it briefly about the observer effect. Consciousness is the creation of reality. The physical manifested world is made up of particles that we can control. And they scientifically prove this with the double slit experiment. So if you want to know more about that, just look that up. Really, it was the observer, when they were doing tests, if there was somebody in the room that was observing, their observation could influence the outcome of the test. That's how crazy it is. That's how powerful it is. So that's one, the observer effect. And I like this quote by Albert Einstein: "The only time that truly exists is now. The distinction between past, present, and future is only an illusion, however persistent." Albert Einstein. This is going to blow your mind. You might have heard it before. I know it still blows mine when I think about it, and kind of wrapping my mind around the concept of there is no time. Everything exists in the here and now. All of the quantum potential, the timelines, the dimensions, all exist in the now. That's why it's so incredibly powerful, my friend, to be in the moment and to observe from that state, from that superposition where all things exist until you make a decision. But here's where we go. We start to think about the past, or we worry about the future. We're not in the now. But what are we doing? We are unconsciously creating something that we don't want. So when you can get more clear, more self-aware, and be in the moment, that's why meditation is so incredibly powerful, because you get into the moment. You get into the space where you can feel all potential, all possibility, because everything exists. There is a version of you that has everything that you want on a different timeline, in a different dimension, if you want to say. So that's why when people say, when I use the mantras, which I'm going to share with you, I don't feel it. Like it doesn't exist right now. Your eyes are sort of deceiving you, because they are showing you a reality that is what you believe to be your reality right now. So it's hard for people to shift out of that. But I'm going to share something with you when we get to the mantra points, when I'm sharing the mantras with you. Because again, this is an illusion. Our eyes are a part of our brain that our eyes are a part of our brain. It's the part of the brain that we can see. If you've ever done that experiment where you lose it's a little dot, and you You're moving it around to the blind spot. Okay, so there's a blind spot in our eye because of our optic nerve. Now, here's where it gets super crazy. Your brain fills in that information, because otherwise you'd walk around with a big black dot of a blind spot in your eye, but your brain fills it in. So what else is it filling in? What is it showing you that you think you want to see? What is it showing you as it relates to your perception of your reality? So that's where this is really important, that you start to shift out of what you're seeing in order to step into something new. And that's where that superposition comes into play. That is that place of in the now. Nothing else exists, no past, no future. Past is a different timeline, future is a different timeline, but it all exists in the now. That's where, when you get there, you are the most powerful. That is the superpower, to be able to access that state, to begin to control your reality, to begin to control the matrix. So that's about superposition. Now, tapping into your imagination is incredibly important too, because we visualize. Most of us are visual learners. And so this is why vision boards and other things are very popular. But I like to also bring in what I think the missing component of that is the emotional state. And you've probably read this, to be able to feel as if you already have it. That's the key, to be able to access that emotional state as if you already have it. Like an actor on a stage where you are assuming that role, and everything around you, you're imagining all of the context around you as it relates to that role that you're playing. That's sort of what I want you to do. I want you to play in that. That's what kids do. They play in their imagination and they create these pretty elaborate and magical worlds. So do that. Use your imagination to do that. And you can use tools like vision boards. That's okay. Journaling, all of the different ways that we love to bring in the context of what we want. But the key is to feel as if you already have it. That's the key, to emotionally feel as if you already have it. And one of the best things that you can do to start to tap into those feeling states is to be grateful, is to have a gratitude journal. Because the truth is, you do have a lot that you can be grateful for. You can walk outside and see the abundance of nature. That in and of itself is an abundant state of mind. Finding the playfulness in things, finding awe in things, those are all super high vibe emotional states. And that's what you want to begin to access. You continue to bring that in more and more and more until your reality starts to shape itself around what you perceive you already have, because you truly do already have it on some other timeline. So we're not telling ourselves a lie when we're using the mantra. We're starting to create that reality, bring that timeline into our purview, step into that. It's like a TV, where you're watching a channel. A thousand other channels exist, but you're focusing on the one that you've tuned into. So tune into a different channel. Tune in and use your imagination as a superpower, and dream into all kinds of fun stuff. Have visual images of all the things. The more you can give the universe, the more it's going to create for you. So make it fun. So thinking and speaking, let's talk about these two pieces. Don't you love that kitty? Cosmic kitty, quantum cosmic kitty. So thinking for one, our beliefs drive our thinking to a certain extent. We can also have triggers that are unconscious, but the more you become self-aware, awareness is the precursor to change, my friend. So the more you become aware, the more you're going to be able to control what you're thinking, control what you're visualizing, control what you're speaking. Because what we speak then creates a visual image in our mind. So these are all of the ingredients that you're going to have to pay attention to, that you're going to be intentional about, so that you begin to shape that reality and stepping into that trust as if, because I'm sure there are times in your life, and here's the other thing, I want you to pay attention to when those small things start to happen for you, because the more you pay attention to it, the more you draw it to you, the more you step into that. It's not even really drawing, but you're creating from an energetic place a whole different timeline. So thinking and speaking are very powerful. A good example, when I had kids, I would say, what I wouldn't want to say is, don't run into the street, you're going to get hit by a car. Don't. And the mind doesn't understand don't. It doesn't understand a negative. So what it does is it removes a negative and it says, run in the street, you're going to get hit by a car. I wouldn't say that to my kids. So rather, I'm going to give them a positive directive: stay on the sidewalk, walk on the sidewalk to stay safe. All right, sweeties, walk on the sidewalk to stay safe. I'm giving them a positive directive, and that's what I want you to begin to practice. Okay, so language, your thoughts, your beliefs, all of those things you're going to start to craft and begin to mold it from an observer effect, right? That superposition state in the now. Everything exists in the now. Okay, let's end with some money mantras. I love these. Now, again, remember, it already exists on another timeline. All you're doing is you are not allowing your eyes to take over the show. You're going to pay attention. Yes, you're going to observe, but you're going to observe from a very neutral state and begin to access the power of your creative abilities, of all of the possibility that exists for you. So mantras, when you begin to say them, you can say that more, abundance is flowing more and more effortlessly into my life if you want to. Some people, when they say, well, I don't want to say it as if I already have it because that's hard for me to drop into. So you can say more and more, these things are happening for me every day. So abundance flows effortlessly into my life and I welcome prosperity with open arms. I'm a magnet for wealth and success, attracting unlimited financial opportunities. My financial abundance grows daily, aligning with the limitless possibilities of the universe. I'm worthy of wealth and embrace the abundance that naturally surrounds me. I love that one. That's actually my favorite because there is abundance all around you. There is abundance on so many levels, and just the things that we can be grateful for, like a roof over our head, warm water, like you kind of start to go back to the basics and you're very, very, very grateful for that. So gratitude is important. Every dollar I spend comes back to me multiplied, creating a continuous flow of prosperity. Now, you can create your own. There's a ton of these on the internet. You can find them. Craft them so that it feels good, that maybe it's your language. But remember, you want the positive directive. It's not, I don't want to be poor anymore. The brain does not understand don't. This is a hypnotic thing. So the more you understand the power of language, the more you're going to be able to craft it to then help it create the visual image in your mind that then creates the feeling state so that you, excuse me, have this beautiful energetics that then begins to just whip up this gorgeous life. Health, wealth, relationships, all of it belongs to you. All of it already exists on some other timeline. Ooh, my throat. Okay, that's it. We are coming to the end. Again, my name is Lori Soleil. And if you feel like you want more support around this, you want more accountability, maybe you feel like you're having a hard time identifying those places where you're stuck, or you feel like those beliefs are so embedded that you need some help with techniques and support to be able to uproot them so that you can bring in more of what you're looking for. I'm here to help. I'm happy to help. In fact, so check out the links below in the comments section. At the top, I'm going to put 2 links for you. One is a link to book a call with me, a free call, so that you can learn a little bit more about the things that I can share, I can help you with. I can learn a little bit more about where you're stuck and help you. Or you could click the link to Words Create Worlds. It's a free little training that I did around the power of language. That's something I just spoke about, how important our language is as it relates to helping us create the life that we want, bring our dreams into reality, dreamality. I always say, bring our dreams into reality. So those two links, one to book a call with me, or the other to get my free opt-in, which is the mini training called Words Create Worlds. All right, my friend, let me go back to my main page here. Just happy you're here. So thank you very much. If you have any comments, just put them below. I love answering. If you have any questions, something didn't make sense, just put it in the comments section. And if you feel inclined, subscribe to my channel. Thanks. See you soon.